3894.
PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Once again, the star of our show, the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer.
So much. We're at 69,089. Is that what I said? 69,000?
69,089, and we're still right there. I'm looking at the altimeter right now.
Exactly. I don't want to move that Hershey wrapper so I can see it.
Let me push that aside, and we must be sure that we're at 68,089. So be sure.
So we have good perspective. We have good elevation, and we're flying over America as we speak.
Looks like Ohio down there right now.
Yeah, it's a great lake.
I hope they're going to vote the right way down there in Ohio.
Yeah. You don't see any fires down there, do you?
I see red and blue mixed together, so we'll see what happens.
Someone's camping out on Lake Erie.
It's purple. It kind of looks like a purple state.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Destruction looks different at 69,000 feet.
It does, doesn't it? It's really something.
Now, Obama. Here's a clip here from Obama, just telling Mitt how the military works.
I think Governor Romney maybe hasn't spent enough time looking at how our military works. You mentioned the Navy, for example, and that we have fewer ships than we did in 1916. Well, Governor, we also have fewer horses and bayonets because the nature of our military has changed. We have these things called aircraft carriers where planes land on them. We have these ships that go underwater, nuclear submarines. And so the question is not a game of battleship where we're counting ships. It's what are our capabilities? And so when I sit down with the Secretary of the Navy and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, we determine how are we going to be best able to meet all of our defense needs in a way that also keeps faith with our troops, that also makes sure that our veterans have the kind of support that they need when they come home. And that is not reflected in the kind of budget that you're putting forward because it just doesn't work.
All right.
And, we visited the website quite a bit, and it still doesn't work.
How rude. And he had to make sure in there one time. He didn't make sure. Yeah. But he's very rude to Mitt Romney.
Well, I think it's very pedantic. It is, I think, mean-spirited. And it's just along the lines of leftist tantrum throwing.
Now, some Marines were on Twitter, and they tweeted that, hey, we still use bayonets. So apparently Barry is not quite sure about...
And horses. He doesn't know what a bayonet. He thinks it's a butter knife, Barry. He really does. And it's really... what we're dealing here is I believe, a president that has been exposed. It started at the midterms a couple of years ago. I think he's lost his gloss, his sheen. I think you're starting to see a little bit of the separation. These next 13 days are going to be fun because I think you'll also see the press start to separate a little bit and start to position. They know the music is coming to a stop. They want to grab a chair, and they're going to make sure that they're in a great position. Should this thing go south for Barry, and Mitt's the guy, they want to be clean the last couple of weeks. You know how the American memory.
Get with the winner, right?
Get with the winner, and pretend that you've always been open and you've always been ready to criticize.
Everybody except Chris Matthews, he'll never change.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the news bulletin where he jumps off of the Chrysler Building.
Who? Chris Matthews.
Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't,
Ed Schultz with him as well. Ed Schultz gets a little testy on his show. Gets a little worked up.
Well, he's Ed Schultz will give Matthews a piggyback ride up to the 86th floor, and there'll be a nice window big enough to get Ed Schultz's ass out onto the ledge, and then both of them will go over.
Really?
Yeah. Not before a pigeon. Not before a pigeon lands.
You're going to save him. You're going to come through at 68,089 and pick him up. You know you are.
No, I'll lower the bungee cord and see if I can get one of them.
That's it.
Yeah, and then we'll go higher.
And then we'll go higher. Then we'll go wing.
No.
That's it.
You know the guy? What's the guy? The guy that jumped out?
Yeah, we'll see. If
we're going to go past
Schultz.
him.
Yeah, and Schultz will have the record because he's got enough flab around him to be a suit.
Then Schultz will enter into the atmosphere going around 1,000 miles an hour.
Great.
He'll be thin when he hits the ground. That's for sure.
That's good.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, This go around, the last 13 days is going to be a lot of fun. There's all kinds of polling information. There's all kinds of handicapping that is going to be going on. There's all kinds of jockeying and positioning that you're going to look at the mainstream media. You know, the individuals that have for the last 4 years hid the truth from you are now going to start to move around a little bit and start to put on a different uniform, and you're going to see exactly the American system of propaganda at work in reverse.
We got to make sure that we see it.
You have to make sure. So whatever you do, don't go away. There's more from Charles Krauthammer and Marco Rubio when we return.
Okay, straight ahead here on the PM Show, Weekend Edition with the one and only Mr. Fred Dryer. You can email Fred incoming at crni.net. Again, that's incoming at crni.net. Go to Facebook /The Real Fred Dryer.